Hello, everybody. Like introduced, my name is Ivan. So I'm from K3 Labs, and we are delivering on the promise of Web3 through service orchestration and abstraction. And what that actually means is that we want to allow all the Web2 developers to build the Web3 applications without actually thinking a lot about tokens or blockchains or building a node or all the complex infrastructure that's kind of making the entrance into Web3 at the moment really difficult. Just a brief introduction from my side. So I've been in crypto since 2016 or even earlier. I'm a CTO, a technical person, so I could say I know a little bit about how hard it is to develop Web3 applications today. You have to know Solidity or some more exclusive language like Move, or if you're not that familiar with all of those, you have to know how nodes work, how gas works, you have to know how block sequencing works and so on, which is really difficult. For a normal Web2 developer, you want to focus on building out your business logic, which means that in case you want to build something really interesting for your people, you just want to build the business logic and not take care of the nodes and so on. This is exactly what our platform is doing. So we will allow all the Web2 developers to use their favorite programming languages like C, Rust, TypeScript, or even Java to develop off-chain code that's running, let's say, as Solidity would run on-chain. As you can see, on Web2 side, you have billions of users and already well-polished platforms like AWS or GCP, where they can simply log in, add their credit cards, spin up a managed SQL, spin up a Kafka instance or something like that. On Web3 side, we are still really small, and we have maybe Alchemy or a couple of services of which you really have to be in the know and really on the daily Twitter feed to know what's the latest from the languages and so on. And this is what we want to solve. So our platform is going to be really similar to how GCP does it. So if you want to have your compute, yes, you connect your GitHub repository, you do a minimum configuration like Vercel or GCP would do it, and your code is already running in a decentralized manner. We go even one step further. If your application now requires a file storage, sure, our SDK will help you out. You just import our SDK written for example, if you're using Rust. You add our SDK for Rust. You create new file storage. You can now store your images. You can read your images. You can even use a database if you want. So in the background, our platform supports multiple different services that we partnered with. For example, this decentralized SQL, space and time. We also use NoSQL services that are NoSQL databases that are made in-house. But basically, the main goal, like I said, is to write a low-code or no-code application in a manner that you would write your Web2 application, but in the end, the same application would be running completely decentralized on a Web3 stack. How we do that currently is, like I said, we don't want you to worry about tokens, about gas, about nodes, or any other complexity. From my experience in previous companies, we had 20 to 30 people drop off from buying or finalizing their process or action on the website just because their MetaMask wallet was out of gas. How should a normal person know what's out of gas or anything like that? So we want to allow developers to have the same experience. And like I said, we are starting first with the decentralized compute. On top of that, we will have what we called templated applications. If any of you were using Vercel, you know how easy it is to set up and run an application there, but there is a bit less known feature of Vercel. It's called a marketplace. You can go there and you can spin up a ready-made Next.js blog or a ready-made CMS system. The same happens on GCP, for example. If you want to run your WordPress instance today, you won't go into, let's say, into a web VPS provider, buy a server, figure out which Apache version you need or which PHP version you need. No, you won't do that. You will go to GCP, you will go to the marketplace, you will type in, I need a WordPress instance in the marketplace. The only thing that you have to worry about is to change the color and to set the correct domain. And this is what we want to do in Web3 as well. So we want to allow you to deploy a bridge or to deploy a service that's going to communicate within the Web3 space in a similar and timely manner as you would do it with a GCP marketplace. All of this is powered by EigenLayer, of course. So, like I said, we started with compute, and how we are doing that is basically we are allowing you to have TypeScript, C, Rust, Java, or any WebAssembly compatible language, because we are transcompiling, which is a fancy word for just converting into a TypeScript. Into WebAssembly, and WebAssembly is can be ZK provable, so the execution, because it's super low code, can be provable with ZK. And what we are using in that case is called ZK Wasm from Delphinius Labs, and there are some upgrades that we can do there. What our nodes are going to be doing, or our operators, we are going to have 3 features where you can actually earn money by subscribing to our strategies. First one is proof generation, which is the most, I would not say CPU, but GPU intensive operation. So if you're an operator, you want to make sure that your host machine now has a GPU attached. Of course, because this is, let's say, a bit more expensive resource operation, we will also reward it accordingly. So for generating those proofs, we are going to allow you to have a lot more APY. 2 other options are verification and execution. So code execution is going to be completely decentralized, and we kind of do what we preach. We don't want to build our own blockchain. We don't want to build our own node. We don't want to create our own token that will be volatile in price. We will be using Ethereum or wrapped Ethereum as rewards, which operators are more than happy to hold, because in any case, they're already staking Ethereum, so why not? But just to come back to 2 other features that we have. So one is execution, which means you can execute our code. Our code are all self-contained, containerized applications running WebAssembly on Wasm time within a Docker on AVS with Docker Compose. So if you know all these things, so it's going like that. Execution is simple, but still resource intensive. So how we are rewarding you there is with basically CPU compute time. So if operation takes 2 seconds to execute, you get you can calculate compute like that. And the least kind of rewarding operation is execution verification, which is very important but simple to execute. Basically, you just compare 2 hashes to see if the output of the functions are correct. And basically, that's it. In the end, like I said, we are going to have simple click to deploy applications and allow everybody to do that. You can find a lot more about us, and please subscribe, because we are super early in the space. We are super early on Twitter. We have 10 followers, so let's pump up those numbers. And yeah, I'm even open for 50 seconds of questions if somebody has something. No? Thank you very much.